Big Island is home to Kona coffee. You will find a lot of coffee farms here on this island, and the coffee is very unique. You cannot grow Kona coffee anywhere in the world but here in Kona Coffee Belt.
We are at Greenwell Farms, where coffee is grown, processed, roasted, and packaged. So come with us on this coffee tour and let's educate ourselves about coffee. Upon pulling into the 85-plus acre Greenwell farm and parking under an orange tree, yeah, an orange tree, you will quickly notice a variety of fruit trees all around, as well as a variety of flowers. Even a tree with a bunch of chameleons. Talk about opening impressions. This is awesome. There's even a tiny coffee shop where you can sample and purchase freshly ground coffee straight from their farm. Doesn't get any fresher than that. We had a chance to speak to Matt, who educated us on the coffee grown here on the farm and in the Kona region, and roasted freshly every Tuesday and Friday religiously.
In the coffee industry, they use these in the cafes, and it has a O-ring plunger there. And so when you put your coffee in there, and then you press it down, you're pushing out all the air.
Yeah.
Now, you can't see through it. It's stainless steel, so it's going to keep it cool. And don't put it in the freezer. Don't put it in the refrigerator. Just keep it in the corner of your closet in the dark, and you take your coffee from there. And this will help keep it fresh for a longer period
This is
of time.
brilliant. So let's try some fresh coffee roasted on Friday.
This one, yes, citrus notes means a little bit of sourness, but a pleasant sourness.
Oh.
And what I suggest people do, and this is the hard part, but as you take a little bit of coffee, do that wine slurp. So you're gonna go like that. So please try it. Aerating it lets it go over your flavor buds, your taste buds.
It is very aromatic, and now
Right.
I understand what you
Right.
mean about citrus.
The citrus note, right? So this one, it comes right to the front of your mouth, it's very active in the front. But if you go to the next one, what you're getting is, we call it cream and vanilla.
Full
And what that
city.
means, and this is probably the most popular roast in Kona, is it passes the front of your mouth and goes right to the center.
Oh, I like that.
Very smooth, so please try that.
Full city roast.
Now you see how that one passes the front and it goes right to the center, and that's where
true.
people describe it as smooth. And creamy
It is
and
very
vanilla-y, right?
smooth.
How does that happen?
Yeah. It's just a few minutes different in roasting time, and this maintains more of the actual fruit flavor of the coffee, whereas this one kind of mellows that flavor out, and now you get into your darks and your French roasts, and now you're getting more of the cook flavor. You still get some of the fruit, but you're getting more of the cook, just like a piece of toast.
What's the difference between dark coffee roast and light coffee roast? Is it the amount of time it takes
Come over
to...
here. Okay. So coffee starts out as green bean. Okay, this is what we process out of the coffee cherry that you're going to see on the tour. Now we start to roast it. See how light in color that is? It's that kind of light brown. It's not dark and oily. And then you come down here to what we call our espresso roast. It's all dark and oily. Well, simply, this is just a few minutes of time. It's all the same bean. It comes from all the same source, 100% Kona coffee. But the more I'm going to cook it, the darker it's going to get. And that each step is going to change the characteristic of the coffee. Okay? So now this one here, we call this smoky. You know, you're getting a lot of that low kind of creep across your palate. It's very rich in taste. Here I'm getting more of the cook taste. Just like if you were to cook a piece of toast. You know, if it was bread, you're tasting the bread. If you're cooking it until it's dark, you're tasting that carbon. And here I get more of that, where here I'm getting more of the fruit flavor. Now this one I'm going to give you a word chocolatey with hints of caramel. And what I mean by that is, when you eat a piece of chocolate, the trajectory on your palate, it goes in and then it goes upwards. It goes over the top of your mouth, the roof of your mouth, and there's a little bit of sweetness under there. That's your hints of caramel. So this one's going to be more along the chocolate.
Wow, those coffees taste incredible. I never knew how much science goes into roasting coffee and how much it changes the flavor.
And how personalized it is.
Yes, exactly.
Matt was definitely passionate about his coffee and took it very seriously. After our coffee tasting 101, he took us out on a farm where he educated us further on coffee. Now, we don't want to give too much away about this free tour, but what we can tell you, it is one of the most educational tours we've taken. Very detailed. Matt tells us how the coffee is grown, harvested by hand, roasted, and packaged. We toured the farm and saw all the coffee trees and the processing plant where the coffee bean is sun-dried and processed. We highly recommend taking the time to stop here and taste the best coffee Kona has to offer and get some fascinating information at the same time. There are tour companies that can bring you here, so be sure to speak to your hotel concierge for more information about getting here. Greenwell Farms have a lot of family history. It is a family-owned farm.
5 generations.
And they do produce great coffee.
They specialize mostly on the export of green beans, and only 20% of their coffee is being roasted and sold here and online.
And you might wonder, well, why green beans? Well, the reason being is that green beans have a longer shelf life. Actually, up to 2 years. The way it works, the coffee is sold to the distributors and then to the mom and pop coffee shops where they have roasters, and then they roast the coffee as needed.
Fresh.
And it always will be fresh.
There are so many coffee plantations here on the Big Island. The reason why we came to this specific farm is because they do a free tour of the coffee plantation every 30 minutes. Other farms charge you $15, $18, even $30 for the tour. Some farms have free tours, but not as frequent.
And I would think the only difference is with the longer tours, obviously that's the reason why you're paying for it. This is a much shorter tour, but literally the education that we received here, it is an eye-opener, and we had no idea the way coffee was roasted and the way it was packaged and everything just in this 15-minute tour that we were on, 15 to 20 minutes, and it's great.
And on top of that, we got a tasting tour where we got educated on how the flavors of the coffee differentiate between different types of roast.
And just a few minutes of roasting makes a tremendous difference.
And now we're heading to another coffee farm. It's called Meadows Coffee Farm. It's supposed to be a really pretty farm to walk around. They have a nice coffee shop. You ready? Let's
go.
be out. We learned everything about coffee at Greenwell Farms, and now we're at Meadows Farm. This part of the farm is made more like a showcase, and it has a setting of a botanical garden. The main farm is further up the road. This place is mostly popular amongst Japanese people, and it's truly gorgeous. It is picture perfect. That's why we changed outfits. Unlike other coffee farms, they do suggest a donation fee, which is $5 per person. And you leave it right here at the donation box.
Hey guys, I know what you're thinking. This is a coffee farm? Yeah, I know it doesn't look like it. It looks more like a botanical garden. But there is an interesting fact about this place. Yes, they do grow coffee, and 80% of the coffee gets shipped specifically to Japan. Interesting, no? And the other 20% is being sold right here at the coffee gift shop, which you will see in a second. Have you guys ever seen a mango tree before? Well, behind me is a mango tree, but this is not an ordinary mango tree. This mango tree is huge, it's ginormous, and loaded with mangoes. Take a look.
This farm is fairly new. It was opened in 2001. Mauka means towards the ocean in translation from Hawaiian. It is a 31-acre farm, and on 17 of those they grow coffee. At Mauka Meadows Farm, they have a very interesting special program for Japanese people where they offer to sponsor a coffee tree. Under the coffee trees, you will see white signs with names in Japanese, the number of the tree, and the date when it was sponsored. And when the sponsor comes to visit the farm, they can come and see their personal coffee trees. The path leads you through the garden, through the farm, to a cafe with gorgeous infinity pool, no swimming though, beautiful ocean backdrop, and here they greet you with free coffee samples. No, they do not serve food here. You can only buy packaged coffee and taste their coffee samples.
So this place is actually inclusive. It's in-house. You notice behind me there's two buildings, right? The closest one to me, which is the largest building, they do a few things in there. They roast the coffee, they grind the coffee, and then they package it so you can actually purchase some and take it home with you. The smaller building is actually the brewing process happens there. They brew the coffee and they put it out here so that you can actually sample the different coffees that they have for sale. That's pretty awesome, don't you think? So guys, what do you think? Did you guys learn anything new? Anything you didn't know about coffee? I know we definitely learned a lot.
Absolutely. Kona coffee tastes amazing, and it only grows here on the Big Island on the Kona Coffee Belt District.
So in the comments below, let us know if you are a coffee drinker or if coffee is not your thing. But regardless, if you drink your coffee, it doesn't matter how you like your coffee. Whether it's light and sweet, dark, whatever it is, it's a personal choice, and don't ever let anyone tell you how to drink your coffee. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. That way you'll be notified when our next video will be coming out, and you might be learning something new.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Just Be Out to keep up with our current travels.
That's right. Until the next one, just be out with us.